everyone. Welcome back to the Talk of the Town, a podcast by TheBlock where we sit down with interesting people to talk about interesting things. Today's guest is Mr. Sam Kaploushenko, founder of Finon and executive director at KOLO Tech. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for inviting me.
So before we jump into it, I like to play a quick game with all of my guests just to get to know you better and break the ice.
Okay.
So the game is this or that. So I'm going to give you two options and you just pick really quickly.
Okay.
Okay, ready? Cash or crypto?
Crypto.
Regulation or innovation?
Innovation.
Banks, friends or competitors?
Friends.
Stablecoins or CBDCs?
Stablecoins.
Dubai or Europe for building on fintech?
Both.
Both. Privacy or security?
Security.
DeFi or TradFi?
DeFi.
Amazing. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to build off of those answers later. But first, I'd love if you could give us an introduction to yourself and what you're building and working on at the moment.
Okay. My name is Sam. Originally, I'm from Ukraine. And I have experience in crypto more than 10 years. We started in 2015. And we launched the first crypto exchange in Ukraine. And during the last 4 years, I built my own product. I have a company in DIFC in UAE, and also we tried to get the license in Europe. This is the Finon company. So I'm focused on the fintech, on the crypto solutions, and stablecoin rails solution in finance.
Amazing. Let's take it back to 2015, you said?
Yeah.
How did you end up being introduced to crypto at that time?
Crypto. First time, I think it was in 2012 in the university when we learned about the cryptography, all of these things. It's first time when I speak about the Bitcoin with my teacher, and like the technology, like the blockchain, which cryptography.
What were you studying?
In Kyiv Polytechnic University. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And after that, in 2015, I think it was some problem or crisis in Cyprus, in Cyprus bank system. And then they use Bitcoin like the alternative to withdraw money from the country. And at that time, Bitcoin grew from $100 per each to, I think, 1,000 or something like this. And a lot of information I could find in the internet that it's something like alternative finance or something like this. And I start learning, but first of all, I start learning about the technology, about the blockchain, how it works, all around this. And in the start of 2016, when I met with Mike, this is the founder of KUNA, the first crypto exchange in Ukraine. We start this project, and in 6 months, we were in production. There were 3 people, me, Mike, and one developer guy from Kharkiv, and that's it. So 3 people, we start Ukrainian crypto exchange, first crypto exchange, and in 2021, we start opening companies in Europe and start looking into other markets, learn about the regulation. We also prepare some regulation in Ukraine, but unfortunately, for some reason, till now, they don't finalize this. So you cannot get the license in Ukraine for crypto operations. So I start learning about another markets, and more than 4 years ago, I came here, and during this time I live in Dubai, and I have a lot of friends, a lot of partners who start some crypto business here. I know a lot of information about the Vara. We have good communication with them. Also in DFC, they have DFSA, I think, also the separate crypto regulation. So the most important thing here, I think that they build regulation after they speak with the business, what they need. And business knew what the end customer needs. And this is the best way how business and regulators can communicate with each other. And in Europe, because a lot of Ukrainians now in Europe, and you know about the Mika,
Yeah.
yeah, so that's why we start also another regulation process for getting the license in Europe with the Finon in Latvia.
Yeah, I agree. I think one of the things that makes VARA unique is that it's a completely new regulator. Like in Europe, MiCA, they were regulating securities. Now they're regulating crypto. In America, it's SEC.
Yeah.
They were regulating securities, and then now they're regulating crypto. And I think trying to apply those old regulations to this new technology is very difficult. But what they did here was they just completely built the frameworks from scratch up.
I think they just look around and choose the best practice in the world and create this regulation.
Yeah,
amazing.
Absolutely agree. So back in 2015, and sorry, I'm going to stick to this because I'm new to the field. I started in crypto maybe 2 years ago. And so I'm always curious to know what it was like, back in the day. So when there was no regulation in Ukraine, as you mentioned, how were you guys able to start the exchange? Were you licensed as a traditional exchange, or is it like an unregulated jurisdiction?
We started like the peer-to-peer service.
Okay, it's DeFi.
DeFi, because we could provide the platform where people registered account, and technically on the background they do exchange between each other.
Yeah.
And in our side, it was one task to match these people between each other.
Yeah.
To match all of these payments, exchange rates, all of these things. So let's say it was not like the regular exchange, like we understand right now. It was like peer-to-peer platform where people could do exchange between each other like this.
Interesting. And how was it getting people to trust the exchange and onboard into the exchange?
I think the main important thing was that we were the first exchange in Ukraine, and also we were very public, let's say, because from 2016 till 2019, I think I met a lot of TV shows, conferences, workshops, all of these things. Also Mike, the founder, and we were very transparent. We tried to learn people what is the crypto. We had a lot of roundtables with National Bank of Ukraine, with the cyber police, with all governments, authorities who tried to learn what is the crypto, why people use crypto in Ukraine, and how they could prevent some illegal activities with the crypto. And we helped them to learn about this and build together the first crypto exchange in Ukraine.
Yeah, that's amazing. And how is the institutional adoption now?
Sorry?
The institutional adoption with the banks and the institutions compared to back in 2015, 2016
in Ukraine,
to now,
unfortunately, the same.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet. We prepared the whole regulation in 2021, in the middle of this year. And I think government approved the first stage of this law, let's say, and that's it. It's stuck, unfortunately, because of war, maybe, And it was very good chance to start crypto regulation in Ukraine before Europe started. But till now, the same situation. You cannot get the license, so you cannot come to the bank and ask about the bank account for like the company who provide crypto services. So that's why in the start of 2021, or maybe in the end of 2020, we've got the first crypto license in Estonia.
Okay.
It was one of the first country in Europe who could give you the opportunity to provide crypto services. So Estonian company, it was the first company which we used to provide services in Europe, and also we cover this license for Ukrainian people.
Okay.
And the next one was Lithuania, because Lithuania, they gave, I think, thousands of wasps. And unfortunately, right now, what can we see? Finally, in Lithuania, I think 20 or 25 CASP license
Yeah.
from 3 or 4 thousand WASP license. So they cut a lot of businesses. But to be honest, half of these businesses, it's just only the license, without product, without team, without everything. They just buy this license and that's it.
Why is that?
I think because it was the easy way how you can get the license in Europe. But
Yeah.
it was not the license, it was like the approval
To
that you
operate.
can operate, yeah.
Okay, interesting. So now you have Finon in Europe, right?
Yeah.
What is Finon?
Finon is also IT company, which we used to getting the next step, getting the MiCA license. We had, I think, 2 or 3 meetings with the National Bank of Latvia. We start this process in the end of April, and a lot of things. I think hundreds of documents,
Yeah.
compliance team, technical team, DORA, all of this. Yeah, and I hope till the end of this year we finally get the license in Europe,
Yeah.
and we will start provide crypto services in Europe. Because without MiCA license, now it's impossible.
Yeah.
Till the end of June,
Yeah.
you could operate in Poland WASP, Czech Republic WASP. From the 1st of July, that's it.
Yeah.
Only MiCA license.
Yeah, I heard. And I also heard that Binance is struggling with their
Yeah.
MiCA license.
That's why they
Which is
tried, I
interesting.
think, to get the license in Croatia or something like this. But finally, they didn't get the license and stop operating in Europe.
Yeah, which is a huge market too for all
Yeah,
these
yeah.
exchanges. Yeah. So, Finon, is it an exchange? You said crypto services. What kind of services?
First of all, it's not about the exchange. It's about the, I call it crypto banking, but regulator told us that it's not very good naming.
Yeah.
It's not about the banking. It's about the regular services which you could get in Revolut, let's say,
Yeah.
but on the crypto rails.
Yeah.
So you, like the end customer, could open the account, crypto account, but you could issue the card and spend your crypto.
Yeah.
You could send money, receive money, buy Eurosepa, for example. You could use some earnings tools like deposit in the banks, but yield-based DeFi tools. So all the same services like in the regular bank, but on the crypto rails.
Yeah.
Without opening the bank account.
Yeah. I think I'm seeing a lot of crypto cards. They're gaining a lot of popularity now across the world.
Yeah.
People are using them more. Why do you think that is?
I guess it's very simple to use. You just hold your crypto and spend it by card. Unfortunately, a lot of scam, a lot of unregulated crypto cards, all of these things. But in general, I think people, doesn't matter for them which rails you use.
Yeah.
They just want to hold the money and spend it. Send money and to be sure that the receiver will get it. And you use on the back end the regular fiat rails or crypto rails. For them, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So I think the most important things is stablecoin, because people use stablecoins. They use USDT, they use USDC, a lot of different stablecoins. Last week, I was in Georgia in a technical conference, and we discussed about the agreement between the National Bank of Georgia and Tether.
Yeah.
And they're going to launch the national stablecoin. It's a very interesting thing because they don't try to develop their own CBDC. They just ask Tether, can you make it for us?
Yeah.
So the issuer is going to be the National Bank of Georgia, but the technology, Tether, because it's proof of work.
Yeah.
They operate like the stablecoin, I think, more than 5 years.
Yeah. We spoke about this. We do this video every week on Fridays where we talk about the news. So we covered the Georgian stablecoin recently, actually. And I think Georgia is doing a lot now. They even signed an MOU with Pripco for property tokenization. They're exploring that field. I've never been, So, but you said you were there recently. How is the environment looking? How's the community looking there? Are people actually using crypto?
And during the last year, it was very strong changes in the market. Um, they had a lot of exchanges unregulated because they don't have licensing.
Yeah.
Let's say in Tbilisi, in the capital of Georgia, they had, I think, 300 or 400 exchanges. Just it looks like the regular exchange, but these people exchange not only fiat to fiat, also crypto to fiat without licensing. And then they start provide the license, and they gave to people for these people half a year to get the license or to leave the country, like the business. Yeah, and finally, only 32 companies get the license, and they officially operate in this city. So only 10%, but with all rules, like with source of funds, with AML, with KYC, with all of these things, with good limits. I think for residents of Georgia, they give 70,000 euro per month, and non-residents 30,000 euros, and something like this. But I think for the regular people, it's enough.
Yeah, more than enough.
More than enough, yeah. So this company who get the license, they start to develop their own solutions, not only exchange, physical exchange with the cash. They try to offer people some crypto cards. I know that a couple of the exchanges located there, like Whitebit, Bybit, I think also too. So they speak with the local banks. One of them is TBC, I think. Another one is Bank of Georgia. And I think next year we will see the Georgian card on the back with GLT. This is national stablecoin, and it will work because you could move money very fast with the stablecoin. You issue the card and spend money not only in the country, worldwide. Depends on the type of the card, Visa or MasterCard, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's very easy to use.
It's very interesting to see all these different countries that are adopting stablecoins, especially. In June, I think the IMF in Nigeria, they reported that majority of households and small businesses are using dollar-backed stablecoins because it's just faster than the traditional ways. Do you think we're going to get rid of all the SWIFT and traditional banking systems, or do you think they're going to come together somehow?
In general, regarding the SWIFT, I think it will transform to stablecoin rails. It's cheaper, faster, all of these things. But in general, like the bank system, fiat system, it's not about the competition between banks and crypto. I think stablecoin becomes a bank. And national stablecoins or national CBDC, let's say, I think it's the future, but not the nearest future.
Interesting.
Yeah. I think we will see a lot of private stablecoin, let's say. For example, Paxful, they issue their own stablecoin. I think they regulate it in Abu Dhabi. They have a company and they issue some kind of stablecoin. If you hold this stablecoin, they give you some interest rate every month or every day, something like this. But in general, very important thing is which products, the end products who use the end users, will use these stable coins. For example, USDT, USDC, okay, they just cut the world between like USA and Europe, USDC, Latin America also, I think it's going to be USDC, the other world, USDT they use. Regulation also, they split between two the biggest stable coins. But we will see smaller stable coins with some features, tools, or let's say some region-oriented or some country-oriented. So stable coins, I think it's the nearest future that we will see in all fintechs, all fintech
absolutely.
products.
I agree. And I saw a report as well from Polymarket that 60% of the bettors that were betting on the World Cup, it's the first time they're using crypto. They've never used crypto before. So they're actually entering the ecosystem because they want to enter through Polymarket.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see how these like use cases are attracting people into our ecosystem. Back to the stablecoin versus CBDCs.
Okay.
You mentioned something interesting when you were talking about Georgia. You said they didn't do it themselves. They let Tether create it for them. Do you think that's the right track to go?
100%. 2 years ago, we could hear about the CBDC that all countries, I think more than 300 countries, speak about the CBDC, all of these things they will develop, like the national bank of the country develop their own CBDC, all of these things. But right now, after 2 years, we could see that only 5 or 6 countries finally launched the CBDC.
Yeah.
So I think Georgia, this is a very good example how you could do this without development part.
Yeah.
So companies who know how the better ways, it's all about security, ML, all of these things, smart contracts. So better to give them this part. And on the government part, it's the regulations, limits, issuing, all of these things, learning. Yeah.
At the core, is there really a difference between a stablecoin and a CBDC?
No.
Right? It's the same thing.
Yeah, the same thing.
Yeah. Because I mean, even Tether, they can freeze.
Yeah.
They can track.
The only one important thing that who is the issuer of this new crypto money, stable coins. So in case with the Tether, generally you should put money to the bank account they issue.
Yeah.
In case with the national bank of the country, they could issue as more they want.
Yeah, by themselves.
Yeah.
Interesting. So we talked about your journey from Ukraine to Europe with Finon. What brought you to Dubai?
In Dubai, we started develop the fintech products, like the technical layer between the banks of fintech or electronic money institution in Europe, for example, and the crypto. So we help, let's say, old banks or old financial institution to be how can I say
Adapt new technology.
to be adapt without collecting the huge team who will develop their own solution.
Yeah.
So we in the middle, like the software layer between stablecoin rails and the banks. And in general, it will transform to, let's say, some part which you could implement inside the bank, and that's it. And immediately offer your end customers crypto wallets, crypto rails, on-off ramp, all of these things.
To allow the bank to do that themselves.
Yeah.
Do you think that's going to be competition with the exchanges like Binance and OKX, the big exchanges?
I'm not sure because these exchanges, first of all, they offer a lot of products. They focus on the multiple products infrastructure. We focused on the card payments, crypto card payments, technical layer, and on-off ramp rails. And Binance, I think they could offer white label of the crypto exchange, but they will not offer payment rails.
Yeah.
Because we know Binance Pay, OKX Pay, Bybit Pay, but it's not about the payment rails. It's like the internal possibility to send money, receive money, internal the ecosystem of the Binance.
Yeah.
And we do the white label for the banks. It's like this part of the software, like, all of the banks and progressive fintech, they build their infrastructure like multi-modules, for example, AML model, KYC model, payment model, all of these things. So for this type of the infrastructure, they just need to add another one model that we provide, and that's it. And we provide the full way how they can implement these rails to their own infrastructure. with the different type of the integration, like from the white labeling, out staffing, all of these things depends on the needs of the end customer.
So until today, generally our interaction with the ecosystem, I've noticed that banks are quite cautious about the crypto industry as a whole, and not a lot of banks are easy to work with as from like a crypto company or a VASP perspective. Do you see that that's changing over time?
Yeah, sure. Especially in big conferences, banking conferences like Money 2020.
Yeah.
I've met it in Amsterdam this year and last year and 2 years ago. So 2 years ago, when you speak with the bank about the crypto, they look at you like, okay, guys, you could give your games in this part of the conference. Last year, some new small progressive banks, they ready to speak with you, discuss about the possibilities of these things. This year, all of them speak about the crypto, payment rails, Mika, CBDC. They already, they choose two options: develop their own solution or buy
already one.
Already one. We know about the I think JP Morgan, they have their own huge department, crypto department. Mastercard, they bought BVNK, one of the biggest on off ramp. Robinhood and not Robinhood or Kraken, they bought Reap, one of the biggest crypto card issuer. So depends.
Why is still then on ramp, off ramp is such a challenge for a lot of people?
Because a lot of fraud. Unfortunately, a lot of fraud. But I think this is the main problem of the card payments. In APM, these alternative payment methods like Blik in Poland, or I think here also, I forgot the name of this payment system, when you can transfer money between the local banks immediately without any fees, all of these things.
Dubai something.
Yeah.
Dubai Pay, is it?
Yeah.
It's something similar,
Something like this. Local payments infrastructure, it's better than card payments because in this case, not a lot of fraud, not stolen cards, all of this card information leaking or something like this. But we know that adoption of the Visa and MasterCard is very huge.
Yeah.
So this is the main challenge in on-off ramp. All of these payments should be safe. But if you ask about the KYC, source of funds, all of these things in the first step, to user who want to buy crypto for $10, he look at this and leave the website. Fortunately, this is the main challenge. But I think the old on-ramps, when you transfer customer to the on-ramp service, he choose the currency, all of these things, proceed the KYC on your service, on this service, it's gone. The next step, it's like smoothly way how you could provide, like for example, let's say USDT. You could top up USDT from another wallet.
Yeah.
You should provide by top up USDT with your card, and you just do tokenization of your card. Make sure that the owner of the card, the same person, all of these things, and then in one tap, he could deposit USDT balance from the card. And this is the main challenge. How to make this way very smoothly without a lot of headache for the end customer.
Is that what you're working on?
Also too, yeah.
Yeah.
But first of all, we're focused on the off-ramp services.
Okay. Which one is more of a challenge, the off-ramp or the on-ramp?
On-ramp.
Yeah.
Because of fraud, all of these things. Off-ramp, it's understandable. People want to hold crypto and spend this money.
Yeah.
Without exchanging to fiat. Just hold crypto and spend. So you could offer cards to spend crypto. You could offer off-ramp, like if you need to pay for the school, for example, you could hold crypto and pay for the school fees from the crypto immediately. In case with the on-ramp, a lot of challenges.
Yeah. So we discussed a lot about crypto and the regulation and how far we've come. But now today we're also seeing a new addition to the group, which is AI.
Yeah.
AI is coming into fintech, it's coming into crypto. There's a lot of convergences between all of these things. Are you working on anything in the AI space? Where do you see that going?
We use AI internally.
Mm-hmm.
I think we try to use it everywhere,
Yeah.
from business analysis, development, support, all of these things, compliance also, because these AI tools help us to move faster.
Yeah.
So if you can write the task for your employee, you could do the same for AI, and then they just check the uh, key information to put the final approve for, I don't know, for the document, for the code, all of this. In case with the end customer tools, I think agentic payments and agentic payments ready infrastructure, that's the next step what we will do.
Yeah.
Because I think in 1-2 years we will ask our phone, just buy me something, buy flight tickets, or I want to order another bottle of the water,
Yeah.
and I just split my finance between my manual
Yeah.
finance and part
Awesome.
of the finance which I can give the access to my AI agent, like the assistant. And this is the big challenge for the compliance, for regulation, for all of these things. But in our side, we will be ready, like the technical layer, to
Yeah.
provide this possibility. And I think we will have a lot of requirements from the regulators. I think we will need to do a lot of changes every month in this part of the infrastructure, payment infrastructure, because we could see how it's changed. Every couple of weeks, we could see that, oh, new AI model, they open this model, they close this model,
Yeah.
all of these things. So we will build agentic payments infrastructure, but we understand that it will be also the challenge, because your solution, it's not about that you just develop agentic payment model and that's it. You need to update it every week,
Yeah.
because something changed, regulation changed, some security issues, all of these things. But this is the future also of the payments, because it's about, for me, it's about the programming money.
Yeah.
All around us, crypto, stablecoin, rails, all of these things, it's about the possibility to to develop money, let's say.
Yeah. That's very interesting. Do you see any major risks or potential blockers for agentic payments?
Yeah, first of all, it's regulation and compliance. Because the main question, if something went wrong,
Who's responsible?
yeah,
Yeah.
who developed this tool, who give the access for agent, or agent AI model, who develop AI model.
Yeah.
So this is the main challenge
Yeah.
for regulators, especially.
How is regulation around AI now? Do you have any insight into that space?
I could say that it changes every couple of weeks,
Yeah.
and it's because all AI tools grows faster than we could see, and uh, regulators could regulate.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So the main problem that AI in general grows very fast, but I think 90% of everything what we could see we will not use in the future. It just, for me, it's like the fast possibility to test some hypotheses, how you could do this, how you could use this tool, how you could implement this for payments, how you could implement this for development, all of these
Yeah.
things. But finally, I think, I hope that we will have strong regulation how we could use these tools internal in development, in managing, in AML, in all of these things,
Yeah.
and in general for the end customer, how they could be safe, I think, using these tools.
Yeah, 'cause it's not only in financial systems that
Not
we
only in
face this issue. I
financial,
mean, in healthcare,
I think in all
yeah, in
industries,
all industries, it's like who's
in healthcare
responsible.
especially, it's about
Yeah.
the life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
life or death. Okay, for my final question,
Yeah.
I want to know what your outlook is on the future of finance, where you see us going in the next 5 to 10 years, what you think is going to be the top change or the most drastic change that we're going to see. Like for me, it's interesting to think about future generations and how they're going to look at us the way we look at previous generations. They're like, checkbooks, you used paper, like why?
Yeah.
So what do you think is going to be the most drastic change that we're going to see?
In general, I think the main important thing for the future of the finance, it's, let's say, invisible infrastructure carrying visible trust, because trust is the most important. Trust for me, it's not about the trust of the end customer for you, like the service or for the regulators. This is in general for the industry, for the finance. Do you trust your money to some tools or to some people who develop these tools, to some countries who develop their own stable coins? So I think in the future, people will not think about the money like for the paper or for the something which you need to buy something. They will think about the money like for the tool which you use for every day. You have some needs, and money, this is like the tool which could help you to to get it.
Get it.
And I believe that business, together with the regulators, will agree and will get, let's say, some approvals between each other, how they could provide all financial services to the end customers without problem, that without over-regulating and without over-innovating.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it should be in the middle.
Find the balance.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for being with us
Thank
today.
you too.
It was a lovely conversation. And thank you guys for watching.